Yeah, a little update that Mark McGuinness is not ready to play, so we decided with Luton just to send him home. So we expected him to be ready for this game, and it's not like a big injury, but he will most definitely make it for Luton in the weekend, and just for the club's sake as well, we decided to send him home. Decided not to bring in a player on such a short notice. So that's otherwise everybody was fit and ready. Normally a win will recover you a little bit quicker than not. So everybody is ready and wants to play this game. Yeah, that's the players know themselves. So it's talking to the players if they are ready to go again. It's the numbers as well that we will look at. So a mix of professional opinion, personal opinion, and then the coaches will decide what is best for the team. So it's a mix of everything, just having a good discussion, honest discussion with the players and what is best to play against Greece.
How much do you rely on the day?
Well, I think the professionals, so the fitness coaches and others will look at that and do an evaluation. So their opinion is probably based on experience plus data. So I'm not looking much into the data myself when I have better people understanding them and knowing the past of the players. So data always today plays a big part in every decision. It will increase their togetherness. In beforehand, I think that was huge anyway. They are a really good team, hard to break down, hard to beat, as you would have seen in England. I think moments like this just brings not only them, people together, realize that life is more than football. I'm a little bit connected to this because he played for my hometown club back in Iceland when he was, I think it was probably 18. So he played a season there. Yeah, and we of course give condolences to his family and everyone around. But I think they will be the same team, maybe a little bit more emotions. If that's good for them or bad for them, we'll see tomorrow. No, there were some moments in the game we didn't play well, and we need to reduce these moments where we play maybe we don't play on our front foot. Ireland is playing the best when they play on the front foot. So when they're organized, when they can fight, when they can take tools, when they can play forward, I feel like that is our best moment. Out of structure, hesitation is not the Irish, I think, strength. So we just need to find ways to improve those things, being more organized, being more solid, being more consistent in what we are doing. I feel like we are taking steps. Coaches always like to take big steps, but in reality, it's small steps. And just being focused on what we need to improve, and that is this: just take decisions quicker, take actions quicker, and react to the decisions. I hope so, but I really don't care if we are easy to analyze, if we are difficult to play against. I said that about Finland. Finland is a pretty easy team to analyze. They're consistent in what they're doing. They're just good at it, and that is why they are difficult to play against. And I would like us to be a team like that people hate or teams hate to play against. But it's our first training session now, so he's training at least. So let's see. And like I said before, it's all about numbers. It's about how he feels, and then we will take a decision if he's ready or not or if he is the best solution against Greece. That is something we'll decide after the session. And I wouldn't tell it to you anyway if he would play or not. So yeah, I think he did well. Did what we expected of him. He is a forward that really wants to get goals. He's willing to make the runs in behind. A little bit different. Well, not a little bit. He's very different from, for example, Evan, in the way how he plays. So there will be moments where he will be needed. There will be teams that is probably fits him better than others, etc. So is always who we're playing against, what we think the game will be played like. But what he did was good, maybe a little bit over-ambitious at times, but no, he came in with a lot of energy, and that's what we want. When we put in substitutes, we want them to change the game. No, that's much higher than I really want. I like to have 11 players that every game would tell me, you don't have a chance to take me out of this team. That would be the coach's ideal situation, but life is not like you want it all the time. The reality is that we need to have a lot of players for rotation between games and in games. Yeah, but like I've said as well, coming in as a new coach, I'm learning about the characters the first time. I've been working with Josh, for example, etc. There's a few players now I'm getting to know for the first time. So I don't know if the squad will change, if we will use more players. If we do well now, 2 games, it's difficult to change a team that would, for example, win 2 games in a row. It's difficult to change that squad. Of course, it gets you thinking. If something is successful, if a player comes in and makes the difference, of course that puts seeds in your head and say, okay, this is a good option. And he did really well the minutes he was on the pitch. It was always in the past, in the memory. Of course, I didn't see every Irish game in the past, but that is kind of how I see this nation is just tough people, hard-working, really honest, willing to take the duel, to go into the battle. And that is, I think, my presumption coming in was the Irish team was like that, and getting to know them as characters is a lot of fighters. We just need to bring that confidence back, so that will shine through every game, every duel that we have on the pitch, to get this mentality to shine. Sure, I can see that. Is it good that you mentioned it? I watched that game, but maybe Josh would be a better one to answer this question, how he felt playing them here. But looking at it, they were really good. They created a lot of goal-scoring chances in the beginning, in the first 20-25 minutes. And I was lucky not to concede in that period. More than I think they scored though early on, if I remember right. They scored early on. Yeah. And then the equaliser came just before halftime, if I remember it correctly. But looking at that game and looking at our game against Finland, we didn't start as well as we wanted. So that's a scary thought, them starting really on the front foot and we don't. So we need to improve from our last game and build on what we did last time and improve it for this one. Because there will be a lot of, like we have talked about, it will be a lot of emotions. They're coming in on a high after beating England, so we need to be ready from minute 1 against this team. Oh, it's too Irish for me. Can you make it a little bit simpler?
I'm going to need elocution. I'm going to need elocution lessons.
Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Oh my God, I feel like a 4-year-old now. Just saying, will you learn about the players in terms of who is capable of backing it up after a win and being decisive and playing on the front foot?
Will you learn
So every game we learn, and this one was a tough one, being 1-0 down, seeing you need reactions, you need characters, and of course, like I've said before, these times will show you who is a real character and who is not. Normally, the character will step up at hard times, and they did now last game. So of course, there was players that really stepped up second half last game. So I got to know some of them. Probably Josh would know him. I took Aron Gunnarsson, that was the captain of Iceland. I took him to Qatar, and he's still in Qatar. So it's a guy that will kind of step up in all situations, a warrior. I would always use him as a role model for a player that was important for the team, even though he wasn't maybe always the best footballer, but he was always the most important for the team. And I'm looking for characters like that, plus of course the technical abilities, etc. But it's just someone that steps up and is consistent in times of trouble, and you can look at him and he will rise and say, okay, give it to me. I'm not afraid. These moments in hard times, you need guys like this, and we have a lot of those guys. We just need to bring the confidence up in them. I think all coaches would like to have 11 fixed all the time, and if you look at the best teams, it's pretty consistent. The players they are using, maybe it's not 11, but it's maybe 13, 14, 15. So all coaches will just constantly be looking at that to have stability in what they are doing, how they are playing, etc. Just seeing the big picture. I will not give you a date on when I expect to have stability in what we are doing. Time will just tell. We have another camp now in a month, so it's a good time for me to have September, October, November, 3 months in a row. So it gives us a lot of options to work with the players, seeing the characters, seeing their qualities, etc. If they fit what we are thinking. But no, I will not have a date on when we should have a starting 11. The sooner the better, always. Of course, and I will probably continue to do that throughout my time as an Irish coach. You're always looking for someone that is better than the ones that are playing. You're always looking. The first thing we talked about in this camp, looking forward, trying to see what is the future, the draw, the games next season, and what it takes for us to qualify for the World Cup, which is the big goal, of course, and doing a good finish on this Nations League is important. Is an important step, but we are not. It's not about where we finish here. It's about growing. We could have a perfect game tomorrow, but still lose against a team like Greece. You just need to be realistic. But if you continue to build on what we are doing well, doing less mistakes, we always have a more chance of winning. So it's a byproduct. The points will be a byproduct. We just need to keep on thinking to improve what we are trying to improve.
Yeah, obviously a tough game as always at international level. I think the first thing that we have to demand from each other as a team is that we work as hard as we possibly can, and that was no different on Thursday night. It was a tough game, and yeah, obviously really nice to get the reward of 3 points and a good start to this camp by starting off with a win. Yeah, I think a win always lifts morale. It always helps with the mood around the camp, of course. But I think we know we have another game to focus on tomorrow night. So quickly after the game on Thursday, our attention's turned to the game tomorrow, and we know we have a tough game coming up that we've had to prepare for really quickly. A little bit of a surprise, I suppose. But like you said there, we know that they're a talented side and they're a tough opposition for anyone. So at this level, if a certain team isn't quite at their maximum and another team is, then anyone can beat anyone at this level. And we saw that with obviously their game on Thursday. Yeah, no one obviously likes losing games, and everyone wants to be a winner, and we've got a squad full and the staff included of people that want to win games, and that goes without saying. But I think the way you win games is a lot of details and a lot of smaller parts, I suppose, that you have to make sure you get right to earn the right to win games, and we done that on Thursday night. But yeah, like I said there, I'm probably repeating myself a little bit. Our attention turned quickly to this next upcoming game, and we know that we need to prepare right and be ready to go. And yeah, coming off the back of a win, it's always a little bit easier to reboost the energy, I suppose, and we're looking forward to the game. Yeah, I think as a player, every training session, every game, you have something to prove to yourself more than anyone else. I think as professionals we want to hold ourselves to the highest standards in every game we play, so I wouldn't say there's any extra motivation by playing against Greece. What's happened in the past has happened. Tomorrow night's a fresh opportunity for everyone, and yeah, we approach it like we approach every game, with the right mentality and set up in a game plan which we believe we can go and win the game. Yeah, I think again, like the manager touched on there, it's our first time working together, so yeah, we're still getting to know each other, and I suppose my role, exactly what it is in the team, and of course under any manager there's differences. Again, I don't want to sit here and tell you exactly what we're discussing, because I'm sure opposition will be keeping an eye on what we're saying. So yeah, there's slight differences that any manager wants you to play. But yeah, at the same time, I still want to bring my strengths to the team, which I have, and yeah, I suppose you have to get a balance in that sense. Yeah, I think it's definitely something we need to develop. We need to make sure that every game that we go into is horrible for our opposition, and that's something that the manager's made clear he wants us to be, and it's down to us as players to carry that out on the pitch. Yeah, I think it's very important to start the game on the front foot, and obviously you're right in what you're saying, that game last summer wasn't good enough. So yeah, we have to make sure that tomorrow night, like the manager said, we're ready to go from minute one and approach the game in the right way, and do everything correctly to make sure that we're the ones that want to start on the front foot, and it's something we're aware of, and something that will be at the front of our minds before the game tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's in all aspects of the game really. I think a lot of people will assume that us talking about being hard to play against is just out of possession fighting and being horrible in that sense, but I think also with the way we use the ball in possession as well to make it hard for teams. Trust me, as a player, there's nothing worse than not having the ball in the game. So, and feeling like you're constantly under threat when the opposition has it. So, yeah, I think it's in all aspects of the game, in possession, out of possession, our mentality. That, like we spoke about before, from minute one, the opposition know that this is a serious game, and a team that's gonna come at them 100% and go for the win. And when you're up against a team like that, you feel it as a player, and that's a team that we want to be for sure. I don't think we ever went away from that. I don't think our mentality was ever not to do it. But if we're being honest, reflecting on times in the past, we haven't lived up to what we wanted to achieve. It's as simple as that. And now moving forward, like I said, it's our responsibility as players to take that on our shoulders, that we have to be the ones that deliver these kind of performances that are going to make us as successful as we can be.